Hi and welcome to Quest for Faith with Brian. I'm Brian, and here on this channel, we break down the Catholic faith from a newcomer's perspective. So today's topic, I decided to just kind of have a little fun. I picked 4 conspiracy theories about the Catholic Church that I had to research and look into while I was in the process of joining the Catholic Church. There was a myriad of other stuff that I looked into where people were saying this about the Catholic Church or this and just some craziness. So I think if you are Catholic, you fully understand that there is a lot of misinformation out there, or fake news, whatever you want to call it, about the Catholic Church and what Catholics believe, what Catholics do, and it's all over the place. So anyways, these are 4 that I found kind of interesting and fun. So trying to keep it light and happy today. So anyways, before we dive into that, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's get into this. Okay, so the first conspiracy theory about the Catholic Church is the Pope wears red shoes that are made of the skin of children. Now, if you haven't heard this, I'm glad you haven't, because that means you didn't dive into a ridiculous conspiracy theory that has enough weird stuff that's factual that makes you go, about the whole Pizzagate, the all that pedophile ring stuff that is probably true, but who knows how crazy some of this stuff really actually is or not. But one of the things that popped up when I was starting to look into the Catholic Church was that the Pope's red shoes, it's a symbol of Satanism and sacrificing children to Satan. Yeah, no, it's not. So where this all gets a little crazy is when you start looking at, trying to get to the right picture. Sorry, guys. Pictures like this, and this is like that whole Pizzagate. If you've heard of Pizzagate, it's quick summary. It's this pizza parlor in DC where supposedly all of the powerful, well-to-do people in DC would go to and have some crazy child sex trafficking stuff, and sometimes some ritualistic sacrifices, and that all these red shoes, and I have no idea, like I typed in Pizzagate and this is the picture that came up, so it could be from that or not, I don't know, but anyways, that's the conspiracy theory. And because they were wearing red shoes and that's the conspiracy theory on that side, people are quick to point that, hey, you know what? The Pope also wears red shoes. Now, we know that Pope Francis isn't wearing red shoes, and that's mainly because bless him, but the Pope is not a fan of tradition. I think most of us know that with all the fun stuff going on with the Latin Mass. But the popes traditionally wear red shoes. And the reason they wear red shoes is because it's to remind them that they're walking in the footsteps of martyrs and people that died living out Christ's teaching. And it's kind of this reminder of the stakes that what's at stake, right? And that's why the Pope wears red shoes. It's not a sacrificial thing to Satan. I don't want to say I'm sure, but I feel don't go down that rabbit hole. If you don't need to go down that rabbit hole, don't do it, because it's terrifying. But the Pope's shoes are not the same thing as the Pizzagate connection. So anyways, that's conspiracy number 1. Conspiracy number 2 that I'm going to talk about is this lovely statue. If you hadn't seen this, it's a little crazy. So, okay, so what this statue is, and it's where the Pope has his weekly audience, and it's standing behind him, and I think I have a better picture of it here. Let me look. We're gonna get there. Here we go. Here's a little bit better shot of it. So what this statue actually is, it was commissioned in the 1970s, and so during the 1970s, if anyone is interested in history, and this isn't like this was ancient history, we're talking 1970s. This statue was commissioned, and it was the artist that created it said that this is an image of Jesus rising out of a nuclear blast of an orchard field. And so orchards, olive leaves symbolize peace, and that peace has been destroyed, but Christ is still here and alive, and is going to be around even after the craziness of nuclear weapons. That's what that's supposed to symbolize. That's what the artist said. And I mean, he's the one that did it, and the church commissioned it. So I can't really go against that. But what a lot of people want to point out is they're like, no, it's a picture of Baphomet. That's what it is. And they just kind of, they have the hair covering the face so you can't really see it. And it's a Satan image. It's not. Like, it's not at all. It's not even close. Like, the images don't even look the same. Now, I have seen either somebody's recreated it with an image of Satan or Baphomet, or superimposed it is probably what it was. And we're toting that around the internet. Like, look at this real picture from the Vatican. And it's literally like a Satan image instead of where the Jesus image is, which that's not the case. So, but it kind of freaks you out when you're trying to convert, when you're in the process of converting the Catholic Church, and you see this stuff and you go, oh God, is it true? Is it true? And you have to look into it. And because I think Fulton Sheen was the greatest when he said, what was it? It was something like, there's, you won't find 100 people that disagree with the Catholic Church, but you'll find millions that don't understand what the Catholic Church teaches. Something on that. Don't quote me exactly, but it's the same sentiment. So that was one of the conspiracy theories that I had to go through. So if we're going back, the next conspiracy theory that I want to look at is the all-seeing eye, right? So the Freemasons use this a lot. This is a Freemasonic symbol with a triangle and the all-seeing eye. It's on the back of our dollar bills. And so people see this in churches, Catholic churches, and freak out and automatically go, no, look, they're evil Freemasons and devil worshippers. See, the Catholic Church is awful. And what a lot of people, I don't think, realize is that if you can't be a Freemason and a Catholic. Like, the Catholic Church does not let you join the Freemasons. And it's a big deal if you are, and you should be excommunicated. I say should be because I feel like there's stuff that's going on right now where people should be excommunicated and they're not, but you should. Anyways, so, but this really did freak me out when I was early. So my oldest son got to join before us, and he went through the kids RCIA. So lucky for him, he didn't have to do religious ed. He didn't have to do confirmation. He got to do it all in one swoop. And so what he did, we had to go to the cathedral, Our Lady of Guadalupe in downtown Dallas, to have the bishop do a blessing on all the I'm going to say converts, catechumens. What's the word? It's late, guys. Sorry. Brain dead. But anyways, so we had to go up there for the ceremony, and it was awesome. It was great. But then after everything was done, I hadn't been to the cathedral before, so I decided to walk around and look at things and check it out. And sure enough, I looked up on the ceiling and there was this stained glass. It wasn't a window, but this stained glass image, and it was a triangle with an eye in the middle. And it freaked me out because I'm like, oh my gosh, why is that in a Catholic church? That shouldn't be. So I had to go home and do my research. And of course, I found all the conspiracy theories that, see, this proves it. But actually, that's a really ancient symbol. That was around way before the Freemasons came about in the 1700s. This was around back in ancient times. That was the all-seeing eye, that God's everywhere and he sees everything, right? And then the triangle represents the Trinity. And so that conspiracy was pretty easily put to bed. But at the same time, it gave me a little bit of heart palpitations because I was in the process of joining, and I'm leading my family into the Catholic Church. And you want to make sure you're making the right decisions, right? And so when you keep seeing these things pop up on your social media feeds and looking elsewhere, it just starts freaking you out. So, but anyways, so the next thing that I was going to look at for y'all is last and final one. The Vatican owns a telescope named Lucifer. See, they're Satan worshipers. They have a telescope named Lucifer. And I saw this all over the place. This was 2020, 2019. I was seeing memes about this all over the place. And if you could tell here on my screen, I'm not even going to a Catholic source. It's just checkyourfacts.com. This isn't a complicated source. This isn't a Catholic source. And I found Catholic sources on this too, but I figured for this video, this is just a lot easier. Because I did have to look into it, and I had to read about it. And what I found out is in Arizona, there's a big observatory mountain where there's a bunch of telescopes up there. And the Vatican does own a telescope that is up on that mountain, but there is also other companies and telescopes that are on that mountain also. And one of those telescopes was nicknamed Lucifer. And you can see here in the fact check that the Vatican is not an owner of the LBT Observatory. But this still goes around that the Vatican has a satellite or a telescope named Lucifer. They don't. They do have a telescope on this same mountain, but that is not owned by the Vatican. It's just on the same mountain to study space, just like the Vatican's telescope is. So anyways, so those are just a few conspiracy theories that I ran into when I was joining the Catholic Church. And so I just figured I'd kind of have fun with it and just kind of review them with you guys today. So hope you enjoyed it. What's your favorite Catholic conspiracy theories, if you're Catholic, that you've heard? Or if you're not Catholic and you want to throw some in the comments, maybe I'll do another video and we'll talk about those. I don't know. Anyways, hope y'all have a good day. Talk to y'all later.